Welcome everybody. We're here today, really. This is a groundbreaking, but there's no ground to break, so we don't have shovels. We have nice little tchotchkes in a box that Tanya put together so as a keepsake for today. But really, when you walk on this campus, my name's Stephen Nacco, I'm president. Those of you who haven't been reading the funny pages, but I'm really here to say this is a tribute, once again, to a person whose spirit is in every corner of this campus. And this is going to be the crowning achievement. We are naming it Hegler Hall. There's no facsimile or secondary name. It's Hegler Hall. It will be the home of our healthcare education. The first phase of this will be this first floor. Our whole nursing program is going to move over here, and an expanded nursing program. And this will be where our marquee program in nursing is. So that's what we're about today. I'd like to introduce some of our dignitaries. We'll start with board members. How about that? We've got our volunteer elected board of trustees. Chairman Dave Harvey, Vice Chairman Greg Wolf. Somewhere we have our new trustee Dylan Hahn. There's our new trustee Dylan Hahn. We have other trustees who may be hiding, and if they are, I don't see you. But I still appreciate our 7 trustees and student trustee. We have elected officials here. One of them is going to speak today. He's been a staunch advocate of higher education, and he's been a 19-year, he was a trustee at what we like to call DAC West, which is or Parkland. See, Senator Bennett likes that. Parkland College. So he was a 19-year trustee. So it cracks me up when someone goes up to Tom Bennett and says, "You should learn more about community colleges." Well, he knows more about them than I do. So we're glad to have him here. We also have Representative Mike Marin, who again, a very staunch advocate. And one of the greatest things we have is Brandy Marin is our instructor for Precision Ag. And if you ever want to go to another place that's a Julius Hegler place, our ornamental horticulture has Brandy Marin, where she has really ramped up that program. There's a farm bot there, there's an aquaponics thing, they got fish excrement that's making all these lettuce leaves. As someone from the East, I never would have thought this was even edible, but they say it is, and it's good stuff. It's not radioactive, they say. So I believe. And we have Senator Bennett, and this is Senator nephew, but he's also the chair of the Education Committee, Higher Education Committee in the Senate, and he has been really doing a lot of great work on behalf of community colleges as chair of this. So they're here today. We have many of you also. I'd like to introduce everyone in the room because you are dignitaries. We've got people from the Julius W. Hegler II Foundation here. I can't be in a room without saying Lois Wise. So hello, Lois. She hates me introducing her. And we also have Emeritus President, whose hall is now really ready for you. This was another Julius donation, which was renovating Jacobs Hall in honor of 17-year President Emeritus Dr. Alice Marie Jacobs. The hall is ready. In fact, it's got this ginormous photo or portrait of some duke, and we'll find out who it is once we get the plaque. But it's now in there, and it's really a testament to Julius's donation and a commitment by DAC to do work within schedule and under budget. And that's what happens. Doug Adams is here. He's the one who is following the legacy of someone else's here, Mike Cunningham, in managing projects here at DAC. So it is ready to roll. On August 1st, all of our liberal arts students and faculty will begin using Jacobs Hall. And there again, I'd say to all of you, if you want to see where other places Julius has touched, there's an example of it. And so ornamental horticulture, the Garden Gateway, and our tech center is also testament to that. We're in the middle now of revamping our robotics lab. That's a part of a building that Julius also helped us build. This is Julius's community college. And without saying anything else, I would now have the pleasure of introducing Mr. Chairman of the Board, Dave Harvey.
Good morning. I'm actually looking at the Bennetts correctly now because Tom's on the right and Scott's on the left. From back there, I'm thinking they're on the wrong side of the aisle. So, you know, this is a distinct pleasure to say a few words on behalf of the board. I don't ever take an event like this for granted. This is certainly quite a historic part of the history of Danville Area Community College. But I have to tell you, I feel comfortable with this because so many times I have been at a Hegler-funded building or an event here on campus. That only feels comfortable to me. And what a tribute to Julius Hegler being here today with this. I just want to tell you one short story. When Dr. Jacobs was the president, I can remember Julius saying one day, you know, whenever I get around that little lady and her friend, who at that time was Tracy Walfeld, the predecessor to our current executive director, I always spend a lot of money whenever I talk to those two. And I said, Julius, that's wonderful. But Alice would tell me that Julius would come into her office and he would say, what do we need now? This was his college, his campus. What do we need? And she always had a list, quite handy. But what he has done for generations, for the students of the Danville district and all of East Central Illinois, it's phenomenal. He's an example to follow. I want to thank everybody on the Hegler Foundation for what you've done. This is something that Julius would have wanted to do. I have no doubts in my mind for that. So welcome to everybody today. What will be really fun and exciting is in the near future having a grand opening, and we'll definitely celebrate, and the students are going to be the benefactors for many generations. So welcome everybody here today.
I don't think you'll ever meet anyone who is more dedicated and loves this college more than Tanya Hill. When we hired her as the head of our foundation, we brought someone who not only believes in it, but she lived the dream of DAC. And she saw DAC turn her life around. And she comes here, and every time she talks to people, it's in pure sincerity, the love of DAC and the understanding that DAC is a way to better life for thousands of people every year. Tanya Hill, come on up.
Thank you, Dr. Nacko. You're gonna make me cry, which, you know, we all like to. Lois, don't you start either. We're gonna do this. We're happy to be here today. So welcome, everyone. I would like to first introduce my amazing board of directors. I'm going to name everybody. Unlike Dr. Nacko, he scares me a bit sometimes. So I'm going to name everybody because I don't know who snuck in the back. So my board is Richard Cheney, Nancy Dollenberg, Jeff Faver, Diane Hampel. You can wave your hand. Dr. Alice Marie Jacobs, Larry John, Dave Kitzman, Chris Cattell, Theda Lee, Tech Meyer, Vicki Miller, Dr. Jaya Nelson Ellington, Ryan O'Shaughnessy, Jane Town, Marilyn Tucker, Jacqueline Vinson, Lois Wise, Deanna Witzel, DeMarco Wright. And Tom Chamberlain is our president. Leslie Shore is our vice president. Judd Peck is our secretary, and Corey Acton is our treasurer. We cannot thank all of you enough for joining us here today for another historical Danville Area Community College ceremony. I've been blessed to witness many of these here on campus, but celebrating Hegler Hall becoming the Center for Healthcare holds a very special place in my heart. Our dear Julius folded his wings July 5th, 2019. I was diagnosed with breast cancer August 29th of 19. He and I, along with many, many others in this room, have received amazing health care from local healthcare professionals, and many of them were taught right here on campus. I always enjoy attending the nurses' pinning every year and seeing the new faces of healthcare. And the tears flow because I realize how dedicated and the hard work they put into that. I also know there are many local students because whenever I have a procedure or an appointment, I ask one of my two famous questions. And my son's always like, oh, here she goes. I always ask, where did you go to school to get your degree? Did you apply for a scholarship? And I beam with joy and pride when they say, yes, I did, and I attended DAC. The foundation also began its Endless Possibilities campaign in our silent phase in 19. One of our main initiatives was for a campaign was for the Healthcare Simulation Lab. Dr. Nacko and I began giving tours of our nursing program to local doctors and healthcare professionals. After one of our tours, we were chatting with Dean Sturgeon, and she said, hey, why don't we move the nursing, Sono, Echo, Radtech, and HIT over to the old U.S. Army Reserve to become the college's Center for Healthcare Education? Great idea. So I asked Dr. Nacko what the cost would be to renovate. As soon as he told me, I knew exactly what grant I was going to write. Why? Because Julius had a big heart for healthcare and DAC. He always told me he gave gifts to people who believe in their mission for our community, and that is exactly what the DAC Foundation is doing and will continue to do. The mission of the Danville Area Community College Foundation is that we are committed to promoting and supporting the success of Danville Area Community College through fundraising, stewardship of the foundation's resources with belief in the college's positive educational, cultural, and economic impact on the community it serves. So thank you, Julius W. Hegler II Foundation, for continuing Julius's legacy and your generous gift to help fund the renovation of the former U.S. Army Reserve to become the college's Center for Healthcare Education. We are so very excited that Hegler Hall is going to be the home for teaching healthcare, and we'll have healthcare simulation lab that will replicate a real-world clinical environment for healthcare students. There is no doubt in my mind that Julius is beaming with pride as we bless this building today. His legacy and love will forever live on here at Danville Area Community College. I would now like to introduce our president, Tom Chamberlain. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanya. Great honor for me to be here today and be president of our foundation board. Julius was a member of our foundation board during my term. I got to serve, I think, 7 or 8 years with him on the board, and he loved this college. He loved this community, and he was just such a wonderful person to be around. And to see this come together, another Hegler donation to the college, is just amazing. We mentioned yesterday that the foundation board may be one of the best boards to be on in this community, probably second to the Julius Hegler Foundation Board, as I thought about it. So really appreciate the board for choosing to make this gift and coming from the foundation. So I specifically, they are continuing Julius's missions after, as he would call it, folded his wings. But we know he continues to fly over this college all the time. and I know he's looking down and smiling today. So thank you, the Hegler board members, Gil, Phil, Lois, Alex, and Mary. We really appreciate the gift. We appreciate everything that you're doing now, really in his honor. We appreciate it, and it's a wonderful day to be here at DAC. So thank you all, and it's now my honor to introduce to you Representative Tom Bennett.
Good morning. This is an exciting day. There's no doubt about it. And I did not know Julius very well, but I got to tell you, Dr. Alice Jacobs was able to take me to his place, and I had a chance to sit down and listen to him and talk with him. And there's a very special time. You can definitely tell as he's sitting around, listening to what he's thinking, hear his thoughts, hear Alice talk a little bit. It just was a very special time. And obviously, he has touched our community in so many ways. Is that fair to say? In so many good ways. So despite this year, as we've had so many challenges this year, he's continued to help in the ways that he can. And if this past year has taught us anything, it's important, again, why we're here. It's the importance of our nurses and our medical personnel. It has taught us that no city or town, no matter how large or how small, no matter how urban or rural, is immune from a healthcare emergency. We've seen with our own eyes how a pandemic can reach halfway around the world and right into our own hometowns. But even when we aren't in a pandemic, we all know the importance of healthy communities. We all need someone to be there for the aches and pains, the sore throats, the sprained ankles, and all the other important parts of our body and our lives. Today's a great day for our area, and it's a big step forward for the healthcare professions programs here at DAC. That big step can lead us to another big step, meeting the acute needs that so many of our local communities have for skilled nursing and medical personnel. Illinois has had a nursing shortage for years now, and many of our rural areas are underserved when it comes to meeting the healthcare needs. And that's why I'm so glad to see us moving toward making this project a reality, to educate, train nurses, medical imaging technicians or imaging technicians, and health information specialists right here in our community. They won't have to go far from home to attain these critical skills, and they'll be able to stay here and serve our friends and our neighbors each and every day. Thank you to the Hegler Foundation for its investment not only in the healthcare field, but in our community and in its people. The generosity is a tremendous step toward making this a reality today. Congratulations to DAC and to all the future students who will use this facility and bring healthcare to our area for many, many years to come. Thank you very much.
Now, this might seem awkward, but would anyone else like to give a speech, even though you're not in the program? This is awkward, but I appreciate it. Would anyone like to be introduced who hasn't been introduced? Because we all know each other here. It's amazing. In fact, we've got in the back the three chief clients of this. We have Tammy Howard, who is the head of medical imaging. She's the director. Somewhere is Kelly Johnson, who's the head of health information technology, and the director of nursing, Susan Koss. See, I thought you were out scoping out your rooms and stuff. So the other thing you have already. Okay, good. So the other thing, just to get for the logistics, now is schmooze time. So you can schmooze some more, and you can walk through the building. We just want to warn you, the safe over there, don't lock yourself in the safe because we don't have the combination. The other thing is the firing range is on the second floor. It's decommissioned, so you can't try it out, okay? So just save that. You Indiana people, you just bring your weapons back to Indiana. All right, so that's it, though. We want you to grab, we have these gifts for you as a keepsake for today. And thank you all for supporting DAC. As you have, as you do in your various ways, you're all part of this big family. So thank you all. Now schmooze and enjoy.